Hello, I am Sam, and today I would like to review my favorite movie, Reservoir Dogs. This film was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. It stars Harvey Keitel, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Tim Roth, and Michael Madsen. This Reservoir Dogs is about a group of hired criminals that have to deal with the aftermath of a bank robbery that has gone completely wrong. The reason I love this film so much is because it shows Quentin Tarantino's mastery of storytelling. And he does this through his use of long scenes and dialogue. Of course, when talking about Quentin Tarantino, his use of exaggerated and drawn-out acts, kind of like Alfred Hitchcock, could, in another director's hands be boring. But because Tarantino uses such vivid and colorful dialogue with his characters, it creates these scenes that just pop out for the movie. And Reservoir Dogs, this truly shines out. Language in Reservoir Dogs is very colorful. It's very inappropriate at times. There's tons of swearing, but there's also iconic lines. And he also introduced this whole new way of talking. He has pop references, the music. It's a whole new type of culture that really had never been done in movies before. But what this dialogue does in Reservoir Dogs is it creates an intensity in the movie like no other director can really pull out. There is the infamous ear scene in Reservoir Dogs. There are some gunfights. But looking at the movie as a whole, there isn't a whole lot of violence that you actually see. The violence and the grotesqueness of the movie comes from the dialogue and the interaction between the characters. It's their fighting, it's their yelling, it's how they deliver their lines that really creates a feeling in the audience that you felt like you just watched a massacre on film, and yet it's really just the dialogue. And this is something very difficult to do, and yet Quentin Tarantino shows this beautifully in Reservoir Dogs. For instance, in the opening scene, the audience is thrown into an average diner, and there's just a group of guys sitting around the table talking, and they're wearing suits, and you're forced to think, why are these guys wearing suits? Who are they? What am I watching? And yet when you listen to what they actually say, you realize each line describes them in some way. It's not a direct characterization, and yet you know from what they say, from their average discussion, who they are and what they might do later in the movie. So overall, Reservoir Dogs is textbook of how to tell a story, and I truly believe Quentin Tarantino pulls out all the chops, and this is why Reservoir Dogs is my favorite film.